Unreal.
But it is episode 23. It's not as fun for Lauren listening from the outside.
No, if you can't hear the music, we kind of really look really dumb. What's that? There you go. You don't have to. You're living it. You're right in the thick of it right now.
She also can't snap her fingers, so we're having so much fun that she can't get in on.
Episode 23, Garage Party Podcast. Streaming, not live. I remember this time. Streaming on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Google Podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, essentially. I should just cut that down. Just be like, all right, anywhere you get your podcast.
Yep, all platforms.
You could find us.
We're on there.
Yeah.
One piece.
What do you got?
Denti nice.
Absolutely. Hit me up. Billy, you shot it
Want
at
another
me
one?
like a rocket. No, that's all right.
Went
I
to
mean,
high
Mello
school with
licks
this
his
kid.
couch, but like whatever.
I went to high school with this kid who offered me a piece of gum once and does, like, he hands it to you. And then I realized that he was storing his chewed pieces in these.
And giving that to people?
No. Like, after he chewed it, like, me taking it out and put it in this.
That's not what you just did to me, is it?
You bit through your hard shell
did.
part.
Yeah.
I didn't hand you chewed gum that was wet. And
Did he
gross.
hand you chewed gum?
No. But it was next to,
Oh, yeah, no. I don't want anything that's even in the area.
like, he really thought that's what it was for.
Yeah, no, that kid's got to catch a beating.
Like, he thought those things are for when you're done with it, you put it back in there.
Do you think it's inappropriate to chew gum while on the air?
It is kind of, it's annoying, right? All right, put it back in.
Well, you see, it's a good thing it's there. No, I'm not putting it back. No, it's very loud in the earphones. Exactly, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Today,
Sorry.
our special guest, a mountain lion.
Episode 23.
Episode
We're off
23,
and
big
running.
time. All right.
All right, I'm going to stick this over here.
What are we talking about, Billy? We like
Mike
to just,
Tyson.
We like to just wing it here at the Garage Party Podcast. We don't really like have an agenda. We don't have a script. We don't have a rundown.
Mike Tyson.
We just come. Oh God, do you really want to get me going on this?
I wanted more to get into Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor.
Yeah, well, he's an idiot.
He's a moron.
He's an idiot.
Absolutely.
What more can you say?
insane.
He's an idiot.
But very smart.
And he's gonna get his ass beat. Of course he's smart.
Very smart.
Of course he's smart. He just called out one of the biggest fighters in the world. But if you're Conor McGregor, why on earth would you take that fight?
I feel like both
Why?
of them can fight tomorrow.
Why?
Like, Jake didn't take any damage from Nate Robinson. And Conor...
Are we seriously sitting here debating the damage that Jake Paul took in a Nate Robinson fight? Because he may have an
I
opportunity
thought
to
Nate
face
Robinson was
Conor
going to be
McGregor?
way better.
How are we even entertaining this as a real thing?
I thought Nate Robinson was going to do a lot better than he did.
Why?
Because he's
Why?
a very good athlete.
Is he? He's really small, that can jump really high. What other have you seen from him that
He was
suggests
a
you he's a great
star
athlete?
NBA point guard.
Star is taking it way too far. He was a good
He
NBA
made an all-star
point
team.
guard. I don't know if he did. I think
His
he was,
run with the Bulls in the playoffs, he played very well. And he stood out athletically.
he's a good NBA point guard. He is not a star.
Okay, so
Derrick
you're
Rose
saying
was
he's
a
not
star.
a
Magic
star
Johnson
basketball
was a star.
player, but he's a freak athletically for his size and stature.
Yeah, I think it's impressive that he's been so successful with his size. It's almost kind of like Muggsy Bogues-ish, not quite
Because he's
there.
very
because
athletic.
I think he even has a couple inches on Muggsy, but I wouldn't go as far as to call him a star. And I certainly wouldn't have thought that he was going to do more than he did in this fight. Nate Robinson is not a fighter. He's an NBA player. And if you think
But
that he's been training as a fighter for the last couple
I
months
guess
really hard,
I held the athleticism
fooling
to
yourself.
get to the NBA on a pedestal. But he was
Right.
also a collegiate football player too. So like he's an athlete.
okay, I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in there here. I don't think there's a sport out there that correlates less with boxing than basketball. There is nothing athletically
There's
that
a-
you do in
there's a
basketball
lot
that
of
you
footwork.
need in boxing.
No, but you have to be coachable and things like that. So
Coachable. Coachable? What does that mean?
to make it to the NBA,
You have a trainer. He tells you what to do.
yeah.
That's
So you
anybody
have to
can
be able
coachable.
to learn. No, not anyone's coachable.
I
Believe
mean,
me,
you
I
know,
know a
we're-
lot of people who are not.
We're talking about some athletes and whatnot who have had issues in the past with coaches and taking orders. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But basketball does not say,
take
okay,
on
he's
and
going to be a really
learn
good fighter.
to take on and learn another sport. You have to be able to, adapt and take in these new skills.
What other sport has he taken on other than basketball?
I'm saying you have to be a coachable athlete to take the training from. I think it was it.
No,
he was fighting. He was training with Shane Mosley.
Yeah, but I'm still not understanding what you're saying. You're saying that because
No,
he
I'm
was
saying not
coachable
anyone can just learn how to box.
He clearly he couldn't.
He didn't.
Clearly he could not.
But I thought that was something that he
Silly.
may be good at.
Would you have bet on him to win?
I thought he was going to win.
Nah.
I thought it was going to be like a slugfest.
I thought it was embarrassing. I really did. I thought that night from start to finish was embarrassing, to be honest with you. That whole thing was just garbage. Hot garbage.
The two fights beforehand were actually very good.
Yeah, those were actual boxers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good fights. But compared to the UFC card going on simultaneously, it's
not even close. The main event of the UFC card was over in 90 seconds, and it was more entertaining than the 3 hours that I watched that boxing match.
But Jake Paul against Conor McGregor.
I'm not going to even give you the opportunity to debate this.
I want it to happen now.
Or to talk about it. No, I don't want it to happen.
I want it to happen.
No, I don't.
So badly.
Why?
Because I want to see Jake Paul get starched in 9 seconds.
All right. Take yourself out of Billy's shoes, right? Take Billy's shoes off. Take them off. He's not wearing any. All right, so he's ready. He's halfway there. Take Billy's shoes off. Put your Conor McGregor shoes on. Why are you taking this fight? Why? You're basically beating up a civilian.
Yeah,
you're beating up a civilian.
Yeah.
And for what? People already know you're great. What more are you going to gain from beating up Jake Paul?
I think
the best thing that can come out of that fight is that Jake Paul wins.
I think it'd be fun.
No.
Funny.
Why, if you're Conor McGregor, you're not advancing your legacy?
It's pros versus Joes.
Paul.
Some things need to be done to shut people up.
Silly.
All right, so give me another celebrity to go in against Jake Paul that will shut him up.
Nobody. Jake Paul is not a fighter. I don't care to see Jake Paul fight.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
He landed a big punch on Nate Robinson. I mean, this sentence is just wild. He landed a big punch on Nate Robinson, and he knocked him out.
Way better at boxing. He also is not that good.
Nate is now gone from that entire community, ostracized, lost every ounce of street cred that he ever had, gone. And you know why? Because of a gimmick fight. It cost him everything.
Not gone at all. Immortalized as a meme.
That's right. Not a good one.
So definitely not gone.
It's like the crying Jordan face. You think Michael gets tired of seeing that everywhere on Twitter every day? Probably. Now, for the next 30 years, we're going to be looking at Nate Robinson laying on the ground.
He can cry at it over it with his 6 rings, all his jewelry.
Yeah, Nate cannot.
Nate cannot.
No. These things are so ridiculous, and I don't understand how you could... All right, well, I haven't even gotten into your opinion on the Tyson-Jones fight. But with Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, I don't understand how if you're watching that fight, you're like, yeah, Nate should win this, or Jake should win this. We don't know any of them as fighters.
Going in, but when the bell rung, he looked completely unathletic, uncoordinated, and like he didn't belong there.
But Jake did not look like he was an all-star boxer.
No, but he was much more composed and had much cleaner technique than Nate, and it wasn't even close.
That's not really saying much.
Well, comparatively, Nate is the floor, and Jake Paul can actually...
I just want to make sure that you see what's happening.
I think Jake Paul can beat a lot of other celebrities.
Who? And why?
Go ahead, name, because he can actually box better than the average
what I'm
person.
saying, I'm not saying that he can't. I'm saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying who cares. And I'm saying Jake Paul is one of the smartest guys out there by calling out Conor McGregor. He knows he can't win. He knows that if he
Ben Askren and Dylan Dennis.
He knows that if he stepped in with somebody who was cut from UFC, if he stepped in the ring with one of those guys, he would get destroyed. And he would get destroyed in under a minute. I would bank every dollar I have on it.
MMA is a whole nother can of worms, but straight boxing.
I'm assuming that he's challenging Conor to just a boxing fight, almost like Floyd and Conor.
Which is Conor's biggest strength.
But either way, it's not going to make a difference. He's not beating anybody else. He may beat a couple celebrities.
I think he'll
He
beat a
beats
lot
Nate
of celebrities.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Maybe he beats. You think he's beating Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
No. No.
What about Bradley? You deemed Nate
Bradley-
Robinson
Yeah.
abysmal, but Bradley Cooper?
I've seen Nate Robinson be abysmal. You name me one role where Bradley Cooper hasn't been.
He's not a
Hasn't
boxer.
been great.
He's not a boxer.
Neither's Jake Paul.
Like, I don't think Jake Paul
You
will
put
beat-
Jake Paul in there with somebody who can actually move around a little bit.
Yeah, if he goes in there with, like, Marky Mark.
You
he's
might be
done.
underestimating
Mark
how
Wahlberg?
low I'm setting the bar for Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson was embarrassingly bad. Nate Robinson almost looked like
You're saying that after the fact.
Yeah, well, of course.
But
when am I going to say it? I don't know Nate Robinson,
going
the
into
boxer,
it-
before that.
Going into it, you thought he might be athletic? You
No,
thought he might be able to
he's
throw a jab?
Not in a boxing ring. First of all, athleticism in boxing is overrated. It's overrated.
I don't think so. He looked completely uncoordinated.
Think about the NFL Combine. How many of those skills at the NFL Combine do you use in a boxing match? You don't
An
run.
NFL Combine?
You don't run. You don't lift.
No, but
You don't-
it shows
don't
explosiveness.
jump.
It shows explosiveness
What do you need explosiveness for?
and
You're
coordination.
trapped in a ring. Where you going? You just have to be quick on your feet. You got to be able to move around. Take a punch.
Yeah, which are things that the combine
What are
shows
things
you,
that we've seen
is
from Nate
footwork
Robinson that
and-
suggest that he could do any of those things?
I mean, he's a pro athlete. You think he can learn those things and train them like an actual pro
So
athlete?
if I said
someone,
to you,
someone who's been about the pro athlete life, who knows what it's like to train and
all
get
right.
a nutritionist and train and
So if I said to
treat
you-
your body
So if I said to you
the proper way.
tomorrow, the New York Rangers are signing Nate Robinson to a contract. You're telling me because he's an athlete, he's going to pick it up and he's going to be good in the NHL?
It depends. Is it like a Tebow type deal where he's
No,
gonna
it's like
go
an
to
actual
like
deal.
a
He's gotta
developmental
play.
league?
He's
No,
gonna-
he's going to get
He's
starched
He's
on the
got to
ice.
play like 15, 20 minutes a game.
Well, he better hope no one wants to drop the mitts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Nate Robinson just got signed to the Mets. What's he hitting this year?
90.
Oh, 90?
Yeah.
That's, I think, being generous. Athleticism does not necessarily transmit to other sports. You're giving him way too much credit for being an athlete. There's
But
a lot
it's-
of athletes.
It's
Doesn't mean
not-
that they're good
it's
outside
not-
of
He's
their
not
sport.
going to that sport against another pro of that sport.
Who do you consider the
He's
greatest
going
athlete of all time?
to that sport second greatest athlete.
No, the greatest athlete of all time.
Greatest-
Who do you consider?
Probably LeBron.
Okay, second greatest.
Like athletically,
Mm-hmm. I think Michael Phelps is up there for me. I'll just throw that out there. He's a
like
freak.
most accomplished.
Not even. Just athletically, physically. LeBron, definitely. I think Phelps.
Phelps in his field, but I can't see him. He looks very goofy. I can't see him out of a pool dribbling a basketball.
You see LeBron on the ice in hockey?
He could probably pick it up really well. Yeah.
Outside of LeBron.
LeBron is coordinated.
Outside of LeBron, what athlete do you think can transfer over to another sport to be successful?
like athletically,
Think
I think
of the
one
three
of
that
the
we've seen.
it's
And
Odell
we haven't
Beckham,
even, but think of the three that there's been, and we haven't even seen them.
Odell Beckham, Ocho Cinco, those type of guys.
Right. No, please. Ocho Cinco.
He
Soccer.
also went pro soccer. Yeah.
Please. Nobody cares about that. Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. Those are the two. And they were both prior to our lifetime. And there's a reason that those two are so revered, and it's
Well,
because it's
and
so
Jordan was a
impossible.
two-sporter also.
Yeah, again, I don't even think Michael wants to talk about that anymore. That was a disaster.
He was gonna make the White Sox.
No, he wasn't. That was a nightmare from the get-go.
He was gonna make the White Sox if he kept
Because
going.
he was Michael Jordan, and they wanted to sell tickets, not
No,
because
he
of his,
started.
his
He
ability.
started hitting.
I don't know. I just don't think that you can transfer over being athletic at basketball doesn't transfer over to being athletic at anything else, much less boxing. I don't think boxing. There's no sport that I would say, okay, he's good at this, he might be good at boxing.
But what I'm
the
saying
exception
is
of, like,
not. It's
MMA,
not
of
like he
course.
was going against Canelo Alvarez. He was going against a YouTuber.
Yeah, listen, I put the bar very low for both of them. I didn't expect anything out of either one of them.
So I'm saying athleticism was the thing that I thought was on his side.
Not the case. So now,
I mean, he's still an athlete.
Are
but-
you like blown away by the athleticism now of Jake Paul?
No, he's not athletic. He's not. Well, he's got to be somewhat athletic. But
Does
he's
he?
not an athlete.
Does he?
He's not a pro athlete.
Tell me that there wasn't a person
He's not
that
a pro boxer.
I don't think Nate Robinson literally looked like he got pulled off the strip in Las Vegas before this fight and was like, "Yo, you want to fight Jake
That
Paul?"
or he didn't put as much time into it because he was overestimating himself.
Did he have actual aspirations of becoming a real fighter?
No, I think he just wanted to beat the shit out of the guy who was tweeting him every day.
He just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, better luck next time, I guess. You think he ever steps in the ring again?
I think he's done.
Yeah, I think. Have we heard from Nate since this little debacle?
I don't know. Let's look on Twitter.
I don't think that we've actually like. Are we sure that he's even like still in America? He might have like dipped. He might have just been like, I can't handle this. I'm out. I gotta go like lay low for a year or so. Wait for this to pass over, and then I'll come back and hopefully nobody notices me, which is quite possible because he's 4'6".
Also, let's talk about how we had to watch it in Russian.
Yeah, we did have to watch it in Russian. I asked Billy. Billy is always touting to me how he has these great streams where he can watch everything, and I'm always like, you know what, just use my login. Just use my, He's like, no, I got streams. So I asked him for a stream on the night of the fight. I don't even know why I wanted to watch this. It was almost just like curiosity, but
it's 100% curiosity.
It's just curiosity. That's all it was. And there was never a chance I was going to pay for this. There was not a shot that was ever going to happen. So I asked Billy. I said, "Listen, do you have a stream that you could send me?" He goes, "Absolutely." Sends it over. I'm watching this. Vladimir Putin's commenting on the fight. That's what I'm watching here. It was like watching the 1980 U.S. versus the Russians Olympic hockey game from the Russian standpoint.
All Nate Robinson's. He broke radio silence to thank his supporters. And that was it.
Nice. The old thank you supporters. That's the thing that you say right before you disappear for a really long time. Nate Robinson's about to go into the witness protection program. He's going to be like Henry Hill for the next couple of months.
He should stay off the internet.
I told you. I think he needs to disappear. He needs to go and like lay low in like Sri Lanka. Or Bora Bora, perhaps. I hear it's lovely this time of year.
Yeah.
Maybe he can afford Arkadelphia. It. Maybe Arkadelphia. You think
that may be the spot for him?
Think anybody to notice him
That's
in
the spot
Arkadelphia?
for him, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Now I want to get your opinion on the Tyson-Jones fight because I feel like this is going to be ours. We're going to be differing on this because based off what you wrote to me,
you also just don't like boxing, but
you're right. You're absolutely
right.
So
I think that's a big portion of it.
No, because I've enjoyed boxing matches in the past. Had nothing to do with it.
Like a Fury Wilder or something like that.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. Yeah. I want you to sit here and explain to me what about that was enjoyable for you. Outside of just getting to see these two colossal giants of the sport go at it. What about other than that?
To see the way Tyson moved and the way Roy Jones reacted to the very first couple shots that Tyson landed. You know, because I
did not respond well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Jones looked very confident at first, and then a couple body shots in, and he was really hurting. And I think that's impressive for me, the way Tyson was moving and, the shape he was in. You could tell they both worked really hard. Tyson has been doing – I think he's been training for like 2 years for this, just to take a fight.
So what you just explained to me was entertaining for about 45 seconds, right? Because we saw like that athleticism and that pop.
It wasn't a long fight,
in like
though.
the 8 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, it's very short.
And to be fair to these two gentlemen and these two boxing legends, to be fair to them,
if you clicked one of the other links I sent you, it was Snoop Dogg commenting.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I got Putin. But aside from, to be fair to these two, they were set up for failure to begin with. Because the rules for this fight were just, they took any kind of joy that you might have had in this and shredded it. The rules stated 8 2-minute rounds, whatever. That was the one I didn't even have the problem with. You can't hit in the face. How is that? That's not boxing.
They were hitting in the face.
They weren't.
They couldn't.
Tyson was landing nothing but body shots. Roy Jones Jr.
That's always been his thing.
The other thing was for any time somebody's cut.
You can hit in the face because Roy Jones hit him with a couple jabs to the face.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Anytime somebody was cut, the fight was over. That's not boxing. So this fight was really deemed a failure for me right from the get-go.
They're borderline senior citizens.
Right. Then don't take the fight. And don't charge people $80 to watch it.
Well,
I didn't see the final numbers. I didn't see how they did on this.
I definitely wouldn't pay $80. No.
I didn't see how they did money-wise.
All my streaming sites were crashing, so that shows you that everyone was watching illegally.
Yeah, but that doesn't count towards them.
I'm saying it shows you that everyone was watching illegally and not buying it.
Because why would anybody spend their money to watch this?
I'm sure we could pull up the numbers, too.
Yeah, I want to know how they did. Like, what were their final tallies? Because I don't think it's going to be good. Like you said, everybody, I think, was illegally streaming it, so how could they have possibly done well?
1.2 million pay-per-view buys.
They cracked 1 million on this?
It's still very big. Everyone's talking about it. So think about how many people actually went and spent the money.
No, I think people are talking about it because now you're seeing the highlights all over the place. I don't know how many people actually watched it live.
I mean, I was on Twitter and it was so many tweets just talking about it.
1.2 million pay-per-view buys?
That's bigger than majority of the UFC events ever.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like you said, these two senior citizens going at it where the rules are, they're one hand tied behind their back. So I don't understand why anybody would think that this was going to be like an entertaining fight. I just don't understand. And it wasn't. I was not entertained by this in any way, shape, or form. There was nothing about this where I said, okay, I'm like fully in on this.
I'm trying to count how many UFC events have gone 7 figures.
I don't think it's many, right? Connor always draws a mill. Didn't Connor always bring a mill in?
Yeah. Like clockwork.
Yeah. Connor could bring a mill in. No problem. But other than that, you're not getting a lot of million pay-per-view buys on...
So 17.
17 pay-per-views?
Of the 255? 256? What are they up to? 256?
256. Yes.
Happened already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
No. I think we're waiting on.
Okay,
56.
so 255 of those 17 have gone 7 figures.
It's unbelievable. So this did really well in like the grand scheme.
Numbers wise, yeah.
Now for boxing,
And
did it
then
do well?
and then all the illegal streams.
Because what is a like Wilder Fury? What does that do?
Wilder Fury.
How many pay-per-view buys is that bringing in? Got to be.
I know like Mayweather is a 7-figure guy too, but Wilder
Yeah.
Fury.
See, but Mayweather is also not entertaining to me. I don't know. You obviously are going to feel differently because you're a boxing guy. I'm not entertained by Mayweather. I feel like you're literally just watching a guy dance around the ring, not get hit, not hit, and at the end of the round, they have no choice but to give him the win because he never got touched.
You have to admire boxing to admire Floyd Mayweather.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I just don't admire boxing. Never been my sport. UFC, however, take me away.
The first Wilder Fury was 7 figures on the nose. So it could have been a little under, could have been a little over. And let's look at the second one, 1.2. 1.2 million. So both 7-figure buys.
Okay.
But I doubt since then they've had a 7-figure buy fight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Triple G or something like that, but
yeah. All right, so now for you, what's next for Jake Paul? And don't say Conor McGregor.
Dylan Dennis. That's Conor's jiu-jitsu coach, he's also calling out.
He just wants to go after everybody who's associated with Conor.
Well, Dylan Dennis started the dialogue there.
All right.
He's the guy that Khabib.
So he's challenging him to a boxing match or a jiu-jitsu?
I think it's to a boxing fight because no one would challenge Dylan Dennis to a jiu-jitsu fight.
I'm not.
He's 2-0 in MMA.
I just think Jake Paul's a really good businessman. He knows what he's doing. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, if he gets in the ring with Conor McGregor,
I think it'd be ridiculous.
It's so crazy.
And if you're Conor McGregor, I don't know why you would ever take that fight.
It's so crazy.
What are you doing? You're beating up a civilian.
They're both. It's definitely just for clout because his brother Logan is calling out Floyd Mayweather right now.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Call out anybody you want. Who cares? You can call him out. Doesn't mean you're gonna fight him. Call him out. What?
It's insane. It's insane.
You know what do you got to lose?
But they're smart. It
gets them
it gets them on the Garage Party podcast for the first 24 minutes of it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this would not have been how I would have been like, all right, we got to talk about Jake Paul. I do not care about Jake Paul in any way, shape, or form. In fact, before this fight, I had only heard of Jake Paul as a YouTube guy. I have never, and I swear to God, I may be in the rarity, I have never seen a Jake Paul clip on YouTube, ever. I have never seeked one out. Maybe I came across him on Twitter.
I've seen more of his brother's stuff than his.
Okay. But do you know Jake Paul? Like, you follow his stuff? Do you know?
I definitely don't follow him. I listen to his brother's podcast.
Also, can you explain to me then what do they do?
So he does like a vlog. He's a YouTuber.
Okay. What do they talk about?
Like just whatever they're doing.
And this is how he got to a level where he was
a millionaire?
Yeah.
He's one of those.
All right. Yeah, listen, I respect it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're able to pull that off, more power to you. Like, absolutely. If you can do it, you go channel that market and make it yours.
His brother,
I'm all for it.
Impulsive, Logan's podcast is one of the biggest podcasts. Numbers-wise, it's one of the biggest out there.
Okay. Listen, I'm not questioning whether or not he's a very good businessman. Clearly he is. But to step in the ring with Conor McGregor, you're
insane.
clearly a little deranged.
It's insane.
If I'm Conor McGregor,
I tweeted the other day that he has CTE. 2 fights in to his career. He
You
has
certainly
CTE.
didn't get that from Nate.
Nope.
Certainly did not get that from Nate. I mean, could you imagine Conor McGregor going from Dustin Poirier to Jake Paul? You imagine that?
See, the thing is, a lot of people don't even know who Dustin Poirier is.
If you're a fan of MMA, you know exactly who he is, and that's who you want to see him fight. I don't think anybody wants to see Conor fight Jake Paul.
Except me.
All right. You want to see this. If Conor McGregor woke up tomorrow morning.
Sometimes things just have to be addressed.
Not really. We know how it's going to go.
So, I want to bring back, celebrity boxing.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Clearly, there's a market for it. 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Why don't we do that? We should get in on that business.
I'm for it.
You got to find celebrities who want to fight each other.
We need to up our Rolodex a little bit.
Yeah, who do we got in the Rolodex right now? Who's going to fight? It's going to be
Speedy Claxton.
Speedy Claxton versus...
Not Mariano Rivera after you groped him.
No, I would never put Mariano in that position. Never.
You think he could throw a jab?
Mariano stays untouched. Anybody messes with Mariano, they got to go through.
Give
me
me,
first.
your celebrity hierarchy of who you can think can fight.
Who I think would be a good celebrity boxer or MMA fighter.
Give me 3 guys that you want to see fight, not each other, but just fight.
Just fight in general?
Yeah.
I'd like to see... There's a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot. I think I would like to see, like I said before, I'd like to see Bradley Cooper step in the ring.
Okay.
Mostly because he could, step in anything and I would watch it.
Okay.
What else? Can we include women?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's encouraged.
All right. It's encouraged. I feel like, and I may be wrong on this because I know he's very short.
Cardi B. Huh?
You want to see Cardi B, don't you? Something tells me you want to see Cardi B.
Huh?
Cardi B versus Megan Thee Stallion?
They're friends, no?
Who cares? Celebrity boxing. That's the point.
Okay.
Do anything for $1 million.
Sure.
Right? So Cardi B gets in the ring with Megan Thee Stallion. She's got to take off the
Does
long
she have,
nails, though.
She probably has... No. Her and Nikki. Her and Nikki.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
That's a
I
good
knew
one.
she had a rivalry with somebody.
She has some sort of beef with her, right?
Yeah, who knows? So, all right. I'm going to need a bigger
How many
ring.
buys is that?
That's a lot of buys. I think that's like a... That's a 1.3-er.
You don't think it's 2 mil?
No, you're going to lose the whole middle of this country.
But
Nobody in Texas wants to watch that. Nobody in Arkansas is tuning in to watch that.
Yeah, but think all of
of California and New York and Philadelphia and Chicago, they'll all tune in.
The population of the Bronx.
But you're not yeah. All right. So we got Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj at the Bronx Civic Center.
1.4 million in the Bronx.
So she's got to take off
2.2 million in Queens.
She's got to take off
2.6 million in Brooklyn.
Okay. It's a lot of views. Not to mention Chicago, Philly, Atlanta, Cali.
Mm-hmm.
All people who would
Miami.
love to watch them. Miami's a big one. Miami may end up being our biggest revenue right there. Yeah, that's actually a good one right there. I think that's good job by you. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. They got to take off the long nails, though. You can't fight with those.
Supersonic. And then I have another one. Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran.
Ooh. Put my money on Ed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's in good shape. I always see him working out and stuff. But
I changed my mind.
Bieber trains boxing. He's friends with Mayweather.
My money's on Bieber. First of all, Bieber's from Canada, and I know he's a big hockey guy, so I think he's probably dropped the gloves in the past. Secondly, I just think Ed Sheeran's too nice. He's just such a nice guy.
Maybe.
Have you ever seen Ed Sheeran get angry?
He's got that Irish fire, though. That can come out at any
If
moment.
he's got the Irish temper, maybe.
No soul, ginger.
He's going to need that Irish temper to come out and really shine because I just think his personality is just too la-di-da. I mean, he's going to be loving you till you're 70.
That's a 7-figure, though.
Huh?
That's a 7-figure buy.
Yeah, it's a 7-figure buy. Bieber Sheeran's a big one. I may be wrong on this.
Who's your matchup for Bradley?
Who I would want to see Bradley take on? Probably Leo.
That's a 7-figure buy.
Bradley Leo? I mean, just for like the names alone, you're going to get like 7 figures. Right?
Yeah.
Got to imagine you're going to get at least 7 figures out of a Bradley Leo. Just think of the poster. Bradley on one side, Leo on the other, their faces interlocked.
On the same card, you got to put like...
You're also going to get every woman in the country is going to buy that. Every one of them.
1,000%.
So, you're going to have that.
Tobey Maguire as his cut man.
Not bad. Should he, have the Pussy Posse as his corner? So you got to get Elijah Wood in there.
He's part of him, right?
Yeah. So you got to get Elijah Wood. You got to get Tobey Maguire. You got to get the guy from Entourage.
Which one's that?
Little short guy. E. Mm-hmm. Got to get him. Yeah.
Who would be in Bradley's?
Clint Eastwood.
De Niro.
I know him and Clint Eastwood have worked together a bunch. I don't know if Eastwood's in any position to be a cut man at this stage of his life.
I mean, he was in Million Dollar Baby.
Yeah, and it didn't work out. Well, great.
Not a good cut man.
It didn't work out too
damn
good.
Stools.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you want Eastwood in your corner.
Track record.
It did not work out too great for old Hillary. Women, I love the idea of the Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, or the Nicki Minaj. I think that's that's got like...
What about an intergender fight?
Ooh, not bad. Who's she fighting, though?
She said J-Lo.
Do you have any rivalries with people?
J-Lo?
Yeah.
J-Lo versus Shakira? That's like a $3 million buy.
But that's high. I mean, you got J-Lo, you got the Bronx right there.
Yeah, that's 1.4 million.
The Bronx are...
She's
we got them as locked down.
She's Jenny from the Block.
Jenny from the Block versus Shakira?
I feel like it's very, very Latin.
It's definitely got some Latin flavor
What
to it.
about like a Taylor Swift?
Nah.
Taylor Swift and Kanye. That's your...
Taylor Swift versus
nice.
Kim
There's your
Kardashian.
gender, yeah.
Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian.
Nah, come on. Kim would kill her.
Well, you need the big name.
Are we talking about boxing or is
All
this
right,
like
so
a
Kim-
free-for-all?
A boxing match, like a celebrity fight.
Okay. Either way, I think Taylor gets killed. Yeah. Who else? What other females can go head-to-head? You got to think about feuds, right? So, like, everybody who's had a feud. So, if we're still in the rap game, doesn't, like, Meek Mill have, like, a big feud with Drake?
He did, then they did a song together.
All right, so they squashed that. But I'm sure that there's still some bad blood there. You got to think Meek Mill Drake brings in a good 1.2, 1.3 mil.
Possibly.
Right? You're going to get Philadelphia. You're going to get Toronto.
Twitter fingers turned to...
Trigger fingers. Hit him with the prenup.
I was going to change it to a boxing analogy, but...
Cardi, that's beef.
Which one?
Nicki Minaj and Cardi.
That's what we were just
We
talking
said
about.
that,
That's
yeah.
the one. Yeah, that's the big one. That's our main event.
1.4 million in the Bronx.
Yeah, that takes place. That's in the Bronx Civic Center. That's where that fight takes place.
I think that's got to be MSG, no?
No,
Or Barclays Center.
Barclays Center.
Yeah, I think you gotta go bigger.
Yeah, you got to go 18,000. You need
Yankee Stadium.
you could probably sell out MetLife if you really wanted to. 96,000 packed in to watch that one.
Yeah.
You could be in the last row and still have a great view.
With the screens.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, like
It's a
their
big fight.
Their asses are so big, you'll see everything.
It's a big
from-
fight.
from every row.
I feel like they would look similar, though, from too far away. You would need the screens, because you don't know you wouldn't know who's
Yeah.
who.
Well, you also need them to be wearing different colors, right? So you get like.
Well, one's
identified,
always
like-
red, one's always blue.
Yeah, right. So.
Red gloves, blue gloves.
How do you think Tom Hardy would do in a fight?
Probably pretty well.
He's short.
He did that Warrior movie where he tried to train MMA.
Yeah, what does that mean?
He probably has some training.
Ooh, I got a good one. Now, the market for this might be small, but I think it would be entertaining to watch.
Can I guess who you're going towards?
Yeah, it's a duo. They would have to have like some kind of a falling out, or if they just wanted to get together and do it for fun.
Penn and Teller?
No, no, I don't know where the hell.
Small market.
Penn and Teller.
Too small?
I mean, that's definitely smaller than what I had in mind. Penn and Teller. Isn't that Siegfried and Roy?
If they bring the tiger.
Yeah. Well. All right, take a guess. I'll give you one more guess because after Penn and Teller, I can't give you more than that.
I'm thrown off. I don't know.
Ben and Matt.
Hmm.
Now, you're going to get the Massachusetts market. You're going to lock that down. The whole Cape Cod region is going to be ours. However, I don't know if that's going to resonate elsewhere.
The two of them, not as big a matchup if you give, like, Matt Damon against, like, Damon versus Damon Pitt. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though they're friends also.
How do we feel about a little Jennifer Aniston versus
Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, you want to go like an all friends? You want an all friends matchup? Okay, that's an undercard fight, but I like it. I mean, Jennifer Aniston's good enough to be on the main card. It's probably the first fight of the main card. Lisa Kudrow, though, man, that you're grasping at straws. I don't know if she's good enough. If you told me to get Jennifer Aniston,
funny
Courtney
though.
Cox,
She would talk really good shit at the press conference.
if you give me Courtney Cox, Jennifer Aniston, I could move that up the card. I can make that a co-main.
Lisa Kudrow's got that reach though. I feel like she would talk a lot of good shit
I think she
on the press conference.
She did as Phoebe. I loved her as Phoebe. I just don't know if like she would draw as a co-main or as a main event fight. I don't know if Lisa Kudrow's.
No, yeah, she's not a main event. Neither of them are main.
You're gonna get the Friends base though, and there's a lot of those people out there.
Yeah.
People who love Friends, I am one of them, and there are millions of them out there, and they will tune into that fight absolutely.
Who was your original plan for Jennifer Aniston?
I had
matchup?
Jennifer Aniston, who used to be married to Brad Pitt, with Brad Pitt's other ex-wife.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Okay. Took me a second.
Think about that.
It's a good one. I feel like it's too old news. If this was a thing then,
Yeah.
if they were like on the front cover of TMZ and then I'm gonna fight that bitch.
That's
Come
not bad.
Saturday. Celebrity boxing.
I feel like we need a little veteran flavor in there. Let me float this out at you. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
George Clooney versus Christopher Walken.
That's not veteran. That's AARP card.
For Walken,
Yeah.
maybe I find somebody who's a little more closer to Christopher in age.
De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro's not bad. But I don't know if De Niro and Walken have ever even, aside from the Deer Hunter.
How about Stallone Schwarzenegger?
Maybe. Maybe. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know if Schwarzenegger's ever fought.
Rocky versus the Terminator.
Not bad. It's marketable.
Huge.
It's marketable. It's definitely marketable. I'll give you that. I just don't know if Arnold's ever fought. And
No.
I don't know if Sylvester Stallone and Arnold are really racking them in the way that they used to. This is not 1974 when Rocky just came out and the Terminator was hot.
Yes, but
This is like,
all
you know,
those people they're not dead. They're all still
realistically,
alive.
we are 40 years removed from both of their primes. Maybe more.
I think there's still a market for them.
To me, that has Tyson Jones.
Like
written all
he's
over
still
it.
doing Rambo movies, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how much action he's actually doing himself.
But I'm saying there's obviously a market for him.
Is there? I don't think those movies do well at all
They probably do pretty well. They keep making them.
with the Rambo fan base.
They keep making
We're
them.
trying to our goal should be no less than 1 million pay-per-view buys per fight or per card.
I would like another. I feel like we're going too many actors. We gotta diversify a little bit. We gotta get a couple musicians or something in there.
Okay.
Maybe like a Terrell Owens versus Paul
Terrell
McCartney.
Owens, you want T.O. versus Paul.
Sir Paul.
Sir Paul. I thought you were going to say Sir Paul against Ringo. Something that had at least we were on the same page. T.O. and Paul. First of all, there's about a 35-year age gap. I think Sir Paul is well into his 70s at this point. And T.O. is what? Mid-40s?
Yeah, probably.
Late 40s at best.
I was just trying to make sure you were still listening to me.
Terrell Owens and Paul McCartney, huh? All right.
Just making sure you were still listening to me.
I mean, anything with McCartney, if you can land McCartney, he's like an introvert, though. He doesn't like to do too much.
T.O. 46.
Yeah, Sir Paul, I would say, is probably like 77, 78. He's up there.
He is 78.
Yeah. Yeah, he's up there.
32 years.
Come on now.
32 years.
Come on now. I think if you're
Worth $800 million. This could put him over the edge, though. To the Billies.
he's not getting $200 million from fighting T.O. I can guarantee you that.
Put him over the edge.
He's not. He's not adding $200 million to his net worth by fighting T.O.
I'm thinking as a marketer, because he's got to have a comeback album to come out with the fight.
Oh, so like he comes out and like to his own song, like that kind of thing. Is that what
while
you're saying?
while he's walking with the robe, he drops the robe.
He drops the robe, and it's like band on the run.
And then a tour.
Yeah.
After he knocks out T.O.,
Yeah.
you go on tour.
The PMTO tour. I don't know. Listen, I think McCartney's a great idea by you because he's super marketable. That Beatles fan base, man, they are worldwide. That would be a pay-per-view for the ages if you can land Sir Paul. But I think at 78, you might want to count him out. He might be locked down as a no.
Okay.
You know who I'd like to see with a little local flavor? Now, I think, I could be wrong, but I think both of these men are both the same age. However, one is in severely better shape than the other one. I would want to see Billy Joel versus Bruce Springsteen. Think that would be interesting?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Bruce
This
would
goes back-
absolutely kick the shit out of him.
This goes back to like almost like the discussion on my birthday. Like, does Billy Joel do numbers outside of New York? Is he a draw?
I mean, if you
Or
go
is-
by
'cause
his
we're New Yorkers.
tours, if you go by his tours, he certainly does. The man's been touring around the world for years. He had like a sellout tour in Russia. Probably with the same people that were broadcasting the fight the other day that you had me watching. But I think Bruce Springsteen is up there in age. I think he's probably about 76, 75.
Springsteen?
Yeah, look up Bruce. Look up how old Bruce is. He's up there. He's definitely up there.
71.
71. Okay, so what's Billy?
Billy Joel is... I wrote Billy Joe's.
Billy likes to drink orange soda. Miss Lippy's
71.
Wow, all right. So age-wise, it matches up. Physical-wise, not even close. Bruce, I think, still works out like every day. Jacked. Tons of muscles. Working out. Looks like he could go 5 rounds with the fake Roy Jones that fought the other day. I think he would take out Billy, but I think that it would be...
We don't even have to discuss if they sell out Madison Square Garden.
By far. By far. Not even close. Not
Probably
even close.
you have to go to MetLife, I think. Springsteen's from Jersey, right?
They would have to meet in the middle because Billy Joel... New York. They meet in the middle of New York.
MetLife?
No, MetLife is Bruce's home. Billy's
Yeah,
Long
but it's
Island.
just outside the city.
Billy's Long Island,
So
Bruce's
Madison Square
Jersey.
Garden.
So you got to meet in the middle.
No. Madison Square Garden is like his arena.
Which certainly is.
So it's
but
not
he's
neutral.
from Long Island.
It's not neutral territory though.
It used to be when Nassau Coliseum was still a thing.
Yeah, but Springsteen probably did a lot of shows at the Garden too. But
Of course.
it's Billy's arena. He's got every record there.
Bruce has a number of his own.
If I'm Bruce's side of the bargaining table, I'm like, we can't do this at the Garden. It's Billy Joel's home.
MetLife is Bruce's home. Guy made his career.
Okay, so
performing at the
maybe
old
they got to
Giant
go to
Stadium.
like the Etihad Arena then.
Where? You're putting this in Abu Dhabi? Certainly not going to be a lot of local flair from the local Abu Dhabians about this fight. They're not going to be too hype about it.
No.
I don't know. I would love to see Elton in a fight because I think Elton could be scrappy.
Who do you give Elton?
Got to be another gay man, right? Can't mix it up.
Why?
It's not fair.
Why is it not fair?
Because the straight man's going to do things that Elton just won't.
Like what?
I don't think Elton's going to.
I think the gay man's going to do the things the straight guy won't. And that's church.
I'll agree with that. How about if he was alive, I would like to see Elton versus Freddie Mercury in their primes.
Now that would be something.
Maybe that would be cool.
Now, I wasn't alive during that era, so I can't attest to what numbers it would do.
See Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Good movie.
But I'd imagine it does pretty well based on that.
You see Rocket Man?
I haven't seen it yet.
Check it out. It's good. I think it would do huge numbers. Queen has a following not to the level of the Beatles and Paul McCartney, but it's big.
How about Eddie Murphy versus Chris Rock?
Not bad, but again, significant age difference. You really like that?
Aren't they close?
No. Eddie Murphy is well into his 60s and 70s, and I think Chris Rock is probably in his 50s.
Eddie Murphy, 59.
Oh, all right. Chris.
55.
Oh, wow. All right. Closer than I thought. Doesn't it seem like Eddie Murphy's been around for so much longer than Chris Rock?
Yeah, he was really, really young though.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fight I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know if it's going to draw a ton. See two comedians going.
Yeah,
at
not
it.
now.
No. It's not bad. I wouldn't say no to watching it. I would illegally stream it.
Yeah, I'd crack that one.
I would illegally stream that bad boy.
What about like Russell Brand?
Not bad. I like the start you're off to.
He's actually a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm.
Russell Brand.
He's kind of a weirdo,
Yeah.
right? He's like a weird dude.
I feel like he would be fucking awesome in the ring.
Yeah, and I think it would be kind of hard to find an opponent for him because he's very
Like
what's
he'll
the
bite
word?
you.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say more like I don't know exactly what he is. He's an actor, right? But he's not like I think he's in like the music world too, isn't he? He's like connected because he was married to who was he married to? He was married to Katy Perry, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of involved in the music world as well. So I don't know who you would give him as an opponent.
And
I
he's
like him
like
in the
comic
ring.
too, yeah.
Yeah,
So like
he's all over the place.
Russell Brand, Michael Rappaport.
Oh man, you'd be doing Michael Rappaport a big favor. I'll tell you that.
He's a big
I'll
guy.
tell you that. You're kind of reviving a dead career there. I don't know what you're getting from Michael Rappaport these days. Yeah, that's the kind of celebrity boxing match that we could probably actually attain. You know, because
You're saying us?
I don't think Michael Rappaport's
Like, if we
fighting
just-
off the booking agents these days.
If we just like slide into either of their DMs, how would you like to fight Russell Brand?
Yeah, and you get 80% of the profits. We keep the other 20, even though we're doing all the work. How does that work? We start celebrity boxing. How are we breaking this down?
Well, it depends if we're like the production company of it or if we're like the promoters. Because what are we doing? What are we doing as promoting? You know, no one's watching our feeds. We don't bring anything to the table there,
No, we don't.
but we can handle the production of it.
Where are they fighting?
Them two?
Yeah.
Is
this all like?
Kimbo Slice's backyard?
Yeah, he's not using it. Okay, you know, Jorge got his start there.
Where magic happens.
Yeah. We could talk about this. I don't know where. We'd have to like find like a vacant arena, right? Like just find something, rent it out for like a one
Everything's
night.
vacant right now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna fight in the times of COVID. But now here's another issue: wherever you fight, don't they have to get like sanctioned by like the whatever gaming commission, whatever state it's in?
It depends if we're doing it as a pro fight. If we're doing it as like a
Celebrity boxing match where it's not.
You do have to have a sanctioning body, but yeah, there's plenty of those.
Okay.
Like
Gotta
they
be a
do the
lot
rough
of-
and rowdy,
Got to be a lot of insurance involved, right?
probably.
Like let's say Michael Rappaport breaks his neck.
We could pitch it to Barstool. It's the whole rough and rowdy thing,
It's what they do already. They don't need us to pitch it to them. They do it.
but not with celebrities, right? They're
I'm
not
sure they would try. They probably just haven't had any success with it.
All right.
It's not a bad pitch. Listen, you get us in the door, I'll go to the meeting with you. I
Yeah.
just think they already know what they're doing in terms
If
of
I'm in
that.
the elevator with Prez, that's my.
Yeah, you know, you pitch it to them, and you say, listen, we know you've mastered the rough and rowdy. Have you ever thought about turning the rough and rowdy into,
Let me get
you know,
Russell Brand.
and Michael Rappaport?
That's not the one I lead with.
Yeah, Yeah, I
I
wouldn't lead
definitely
with that.
lead with T.O. Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and Nikki and Megan.
Nikki and Well, Nicki and
Nicki and Cardi.
Nicki and Megan's also. That's like the.
But Nicki and
sequel
Cardi's
thing.
the feud, isn't it?
Nicki and Cardi. Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good one.
That's the feud. All right, so Nicki and Cardi and Nicki and Cardi would have to. It's unbelievable to say, but Nicki and Cardi would have to be the co-main in the Paul McCartney T.O. night.
I don't know about that.
You'd never be able to take Paul McCartney off the main event. You just wouldn't. The guy's been main eventing since he was 19 years old.
I don't know.
In bars in Liverpool, he was the first one on. He was the last one on. He's
it's
the main
today,
event.
though.
And you certainly do not want to open up the can of worms with the Beatles fans of putting him on after Nicki Minaj or before Nicki Minaj.
I don't think you can even
Cardi
put them
B.
on the same card.
I would have to break that down into two different cards. Because those are two main event fights. But maybe as like our first pay-per-view. That's how you grip the people, right? What better way to grip them than with those two fights? I mean, that would outsell Tyson Jones by about 3 million people.
You think it's in the fours?
Absolutely. Do you realize the Paul McCartney nuts that are out there? It's like the Elvis people. They're insane.
Some of them may
They
be
followed
outraged.
this
You're like,
man-
you're gonna make him fight at 78. He's gonna die.
Yeah, against a man who's 40 years younger than him, but like, you know,
And a huge man. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
Tio's fucking huge.
Who's probably
and
on
jacked.
on the list of what we were talking about before, some of the greatest athletes. But you know, listen, if it's gonna happen, if Paul signs on, he signs on.
Sir Paul.
Sir Paul. You want Ringo in his corner too to be his cut man? He's the only one still alive. You're gonna have a hard time getting George and John.
Yeah, I don't think
But-
George is coming in there.
No, and
Is Yoko Ono alive?
very much so.
She is.
Very much so
What's she
alive.
doing?
Yeah.
What's she
Huh?
doing with her life?
I don't know. Living off John's money.
Still?
Still
She's getting it?
living off John. Yeah, they were married. He was murdered right in front of her.
I didn't know they were fully, like, full-blown married.
They were full blown married. In fact, I think they had a kid together, and she was the one who broke them up.
Okay, here's a conspiracy, though.
People always hate Yoko Ono for that. She told John, "You're good at it. You don't need them." You can go
All
off
her
on your own."
husbands dead.
Yeah?
Short lives.
You think Yoko's taking them out? Maybe Yoko should be on the match.
Maybe we should call her up and interview her.
I don't want anything to do with her. Look at what happened to those other guys. They all thought it would be a good idea to call her too.
Married 4 times to 3 different people.
Mm-hmm. Any of them murdered other than John?
I don't know what these two are, so let's look. Anthony Cox.
How'd he die?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Hit me with it. If it's a murder, I'm gonna start to get suspicious. It's like cyanide or something.
I'm trying to find it.
Gotta watch out for Yoko, man.
Oh. Okay. No, I was reading him wrong. He's not dead.
Okay, poor Anthony. We apologize.
It was the time they were married.
Okay, so
It ended, so I thought
So in that case,
he
what'd you
was dead.
think? They were he was 5 years old when he got killed. How long were they together?
I just misread it.
All right, so he was married to Yoko Ono in 1974. He was dead in 78. So he was 4 years old.
Okay, so both her other husbands are both alive and well.
Okay, all right. So none of them are dead aside from John. Okay, that was quite a turn.
But
to
one of
be,
them did get murdered,
Yeah, there's no arguing that. There's no arguing the fact that one of them got murdered.
and it was what was the name of that book? What's the name of the book you read in like high school? The book that the crazy guy,
Oh, the guy who murdered him?
with Holden Caulfield, The Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye. Yeah, what was the name of the guy who murdered him? Do we know that?
Ruby? No, that was the guy who shot
Yeah,
Oswald.
Jack Ruby killed Oswald, yes. Who killed John Lennon?
John Lennon.
Great actor, by the way. Ever see Forrest Gump? No possessions either? Murdered by... You want to take a guess? Do you know the answer, or did I just throw it out at you?
It's not coming to my head.
Mark David Chapman.
I do know that name. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mark David Chapman. You always know, like, the assassinators.
With the 3 names.
Always have 3 names.
3 names.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jack Ruby, though.
Jack Ruby was not a...
Jack William Ruby?
Could be. Sounds right. I have no idea.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald. John Warnock Hinckley attempted to kill Reagan. Did not work. John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth, great shotter. Great shot.
No, I mean, he really didn't have much work to do. He came up right behind old
Never
Abe.
missed.
And, yeah, he didn't miss. Wild conspiracy. I don't know if we've talked about that. You know, at the time that Abe was killed, his bodyguard was down the block at the bar?
Well, yeah, that time was normal. Like, no one had been assassinated yet.
Yeah, I get that, but, like,
He was just chilling watching a movie.
he was watching his granddaughter's play.
Yeah.
Or his niece's play.
Yeah.
Something
Well, that
like
was, they didn't have movies, obviously.
No. Phew. He actually didn't die until a little while later.
You've seen all, like, the comparisons between Kennedy and Lincoln?
Well, Kennedy actually, like, admired Lincoln a lot. And when...
But you've never seen the side-by-side comparisons amongst their death?
Well, I know Kennedy specifically requested that his funeral be like Lincoln's.
Well, okay.
With the horse carrying the...
I'm gonna pull all this up.
The coffin?
If you've never heard any of this...
He specifically requested that.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
I think he said that to Jackie when they went to visit Arlington Cemetery, visiting somebody else. I forget who they were visiting, but he said, I want to be buried here, and I want my funeral to be like Lincoln.
Okay.
And then a year later, he was dead.
Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy elected to Congress in 1946. Kennedy elected president in 1960, Lincoln 1860. The names Lincoln and Kennedy each have 7 letters. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost their children while in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both were shot in the head. Lincoln's secretary, Kennedy, warned him not to go to the theater. Kennedy's secretary, Lincoln, warned him not to go to Dallas. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Both successors were named Johnson, Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson, 1808 and 1908. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson born in 1908. Wilkes Booth born in 1839. Oswald born in 1939.
Yeah, it's wild. This is wild.
And there's more. Both assassins were known by 3 names. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. Booth ran from the theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were assassinated before their trials.
Wow. That's big time.
That's a lot.
That's big time.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the warehouse thing, though. Lee Harvey Oswald was at the Texas School Book Depository. Is that a warehouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
know he was caught in
it
a
wasn't
movie
like
theater.
a real library. It's where they store
a bunch of books?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, basically, the years-wise, they were on the same path just 100 years later.
And also, Lincoln was in, right? Was it called the Ford Theater?
Yeah, he got murdered in the Ford Theater. Yeah.
And then Kennedy was in a Ford. I think it was something like that.
Oh, okay, like driving by.
Mm-hmm. No, the car that he was murdered in.
Yeah, driving by.
Yeah.
Are you one of these conspiratorialists where you think that it was somebody else with Lee Harvey, or maybe not even Lee Harvey, or are you like, nah, it was Lee Harvey Oswald? I don't know if you've done a deep dive into this stuff.
I've done a lot of deep
fascinating.
dives into
It's
it.
fascinating. Really
Yeah, I've done a lot of deep dives into it.
Hell of a shot. Definitely a hell of a shot. Hit him twice at a moving target.
Very doable though. They've tested it's very doable.
Yeah, definitely doable.
There's just so many weird things that went with it too. Like even the route, like presidential motorcades aren't supposed to ever make 90-degree turns. He made like 4 of them.
Yeah, you'll also never see a presidential motorcade with no roof again either.
Yeah. Well, something like that had never happened before.
No. But even then, you should probably think this is not a good idea.
And then there's all like the pictures of like people who look like they're from the future and those what do you call them? The 3 homeless dudes. That one of them was an actual CIA agent.
Really?
Yeah.
Near the area when he got killed?
Was one of the witnesses that got interviewed.
He was a CIA agent?
Full-blown CIA agent, yeah.
So what is that? What's the conspiracy behind that?
That it was like the government was in on it.
So he was a CIA agent posing to be a homeless guy?
Yeah. It's a little weird, no?
Yeah, why would he do that?
Why would he do that?
Interesting. I don't know.
And
We'll never know. That's
I don't
basically
think
what it comes down to.
there was the whole grassy knoll thing has been like way debunked.
I'll say this too. He had like a death wish too, though. Like he was never safe about anything.
No.
He didn't care about any of that stuff. He was like, nah, you listen, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and it did.
Well,
But
people close to him also said that he knew that he was gonna.
he was
young.
like fascinated with it. He was like fascinated with the idea of death. He used to talk about it all the time. He also made a lot of people mad. Like he was one of the presidents who was the most loved president of our time. Not our time, obviously, but the most loved president of all time, and the most hated president of all time. As much as he made great strides for a lot of people, there were a ton of people who hated him and wanted him gone. I mean, you could go, the mafia wanted him gone. The Cubans did not like him. The Russians
he
did
wanted
not
to
like
get rid
him.
of the what do you call it? The money. The where all the money comes from.
Like the Fed?
The Federal Reserve.
Yeah, okay. He made a lot of people angry. A lot of people angry. Did not like the mob, like, almost helped. Really, the mob got him elected, which is crazy. And then, he kind of, like, went against them and ended up going after a bunch of them with his brother. Just wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Yeah. E. Howard Hunt. That's the guy's name.
The homeless CIA guy.
Yeah, they went down like on the record as the three tramps.
Mm-hmm.
It was the three homeless dudes, but he was an American intelligence officer. Hunt served as the officer in the Central Intelligence Agency, particularly in the United States' involvement in regime change in Latin America.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's just like a rabbit hole we can go down, and we'll never get out.
Yeah.
Good stuff, though, today, Billy. Good
Long
stuff. Celebrity boxing. Maybe this is our new venture.
Maybe.
We're always coming up with new stuff. I kind of like the celebrity boxing idea, though. I feel like that's a market
We
that
had,
people
we had
would
some good
actually
matchups.
enjoy.
We had some good matchups.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is obviously getting these celebrities to agree to our matchups, but anybody could just put pen to paper and be like, oh, this will be good.
I got a matchup for you.
Ooh, what do you got?
Bring Damon back into this.
Okay.
Johnny Chan.
Ugh. I tell you what, we'd probably have better luck getting Paul. I don't know. Although Johnny Chan's a big Vegas guy, maybe if he's in town, he comes in, he throws a couple punches, bada bing, bada boop, he walks away with $2 million. He's a big money guy. Right?
He'd probably bet on himself.
He would probably bet on himself. Although I would probably bet on Matt Damon.
1,000%.
Right? He beat him once.
He could beat him
Beat
again.
him again. That's a good matchup. It's not bad.
In Atlantic City?
Vegas.
That's where their original duel was.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Gotta be Vegas.
It's got to be Vegas.
Yeah. That kind of fight. Johnny Chan involved, it's Vegas. It's Vegas. Matt Damon's not bringing
But
much
the
to Vegas,
storyline of it, that was in the movie where
yeah, I know
were,
where you're going with that. It's like, okay, that
at the
took place in
Taj.
Atlantic City, the Taj Mahal, bada bing, bada boop. But Johnny Chan, outside of the movie, is synonymous with Vegas. So, World Series of Poker champ.
You just like giving people home field advantage, too. That's why you're putting Billy Joel in MSG.
I don't think if they wrestled in Siberia, I think it would be the same home field advantage for Johnny Chan. I don't think Johnny Chan has a home field advantage anywhere, to be honest with you.
Not
I
a
really
boxing
don't.
ring.
In fact, I think that 95% of the crowd will be for Matt Damon. With the exception, it's almost like when Jeremy Lin was super successful.
I'm definitely not rooting for him because he never answered Rich's tweets or DMs.
No. I don't even know, to be fair, I don't even know
He
if that's
can get knocked the fuck out.
He very well may. To be fair, though, I don't know if that was him running his account, so I can't really put that on him.
I got another good one. Damon Stiller.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad.
All right, we're getting.
You could do this all day long. All day long. There's a couple that we hit. Or in this case, couple. We're off to a nice roll. And now we'll see if we can lock down Sir Paul. Oh, boy.
All right, we can wrap up this episode brought to you not live, but pre-recorded.
That's right.
My couch in my spare bedroom.
You done?
I think so.
All right, episode 23 in the books. 23 is a great number. One of my favorite numbers.
Great number.
Great number.
Very good.
Very
Good
good
roulette number, too.
Yeah. Hammer that home. We should go to Atlantic City or like a casino again sometime soon.
I got to recover from the last one.
Yeah, give it a couple months, but maybe when the weather gets nice, we'll go again. 23, good number. Episode 23 in the books. Everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts.
I mean, if you're listening to this part already,
iTunes.
then you already did that portion of it, so
Yeah.
it's almost redundant. But
I mean, it's
yeah,
redundant every single time I do that.
like,
right, like-
comment, subscribe, rate us, all that stuff. Share us.
All that
Follow
fun
us
stuff.
on Instagram.
Send us what
Twitter.
your celebrity matchups would be.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
curious,
send us some celebrity.
I'm curious
matchups.
to see what people think. There's definitely some feuds out there that we're forgetting too. So hopefully the fan base gets to us and lets us know a few. We're definitely missing a few feuds.
Yeah, like a Janet Jackson versus.
Timberlake for ripping her titty out.
I think that's the best thing that's happened to her in the last couple decades.
I mean, it's not even close.
All right, let's wrap
When
it
you
up.
think of Janet Jackson, what's the first thing you think of?
Her boob.
Yeah, exactly. No, Timberlake did her a favor. All right, episode 23 in the books. We will see you next time.